So after that Boss Logic art reveal stream yesterday, we've gotten the obligatory annual Assassin's Creed cinematic trailer for the newest title, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It's me, Jake, and let's talk about everything we know here, because believe it or not, there's more info out there just beyond what you saw in the trailer. So yes, after all the rumors and leaks, yeah, it's a Viking game, in the works for a few years, presumably in a similar style to AC Origins and AC Odyssey. Now, notably with all this, big thanks to Game Informer and Eurogamer and a few other outlets who were able to do some interviews with the developers, which has gotten us a bunch of info that we'll link in the description. So, you're going to be playing as this main character, whose name is this name right here on the screen, because I cannot pronounce it yet, so I'm not gonna try. And what was not revealed in the trailer is that once again, like in Odyssey, you can choose a male or a female character. Though I wonder if there are any story or continuity differences this time around, as there can be differences between a Viking berserker and a shield maiden, but who knows, I'm just spitballing here. Those who like player choice have not only this, but apparently a more customized character in general. According to the developer interviews, expect tweaking stuff like beards, facial hair, tattoo, war paint, stuff like that. Plus, apparently a more customizable emphasis on your loot. But we don't know how exactly yet. Now, as the trailer implies, and further confirmed in the interviews, you start out in your homeland of Norway, but cast out on an adventure to England, where you set up shop and where the game apparently takes place mostly. Although you can go to Norway whenever you want while you're playing, the main chunk of England you spend time in is divided by Wessex, Northumbria, East Anglia, and Mercia, if I'm even pronouncing those right. Apparently, there are some surprise other regions of Europe there as well, but we don't know those yet. People aware of English and Viking history know that there's a lot of tension and violence going on, and the game's main villain, King Alfred the Great, who was featured heavily in the trailer, allegedly is going to have some nuance and isn't just a mustache-twirling evil villain, just as your Viking adventurer isn't completely just a bloodthirsty pillager. There will be dialogue choices and apparently political alliances to make. Those nuances are for story and presumably stuff involving Templars and Assassins, I hope. And on top of that, on that topic, Layla Hassan and playable modern sequences do return. And that's good, because those sequences towards the end of Odyssey finally started to really get interesting. The gameplay thing that sounds the most interesting to us is the new village settlement hub. This like your new village establishment, is apparently a place you want to tend to, take care of, supply, and see grow throughout the course of the game. And decisions will affect it in multiple ways. Now, I know that's vague, there's not a lot of details. However, judging by the developer interviews, they seem like it's like a big feature of the game that they're excited about, most notably with how it changes the flow. It's a place you start out from and venture out to find stuff and come back to fairly often, apparently. So although the open world is big and vast like all of these games, you're not just out there in the middle of it forever and getting lost, you know? Like, apparently there's going to be some direction to it all. Now, what I'm thinking is like your camp in Red Dead Redemption 2, in a way serving as kind of the narrative flow. You know, you go back there after setting out and doing stuff, and it's where a lot of important story stuff moves forward. But how it can affect gameplay does seem tantalizing here, although of course we have to wait and see much more, obviously. This is a lot of spitballing. Now, we don't know much about how Norse mythology will go down in the game, but the trailer did show the main character getting a vision of Odin and his raven, a good omen during battle.
Odin is with us!
Interestingly enough, Odin, I just want to say, does look kind of like very much like a hooded assassin guy, and I'm totally pulling this one out of my ass, but it would be really cool if he was just like a shadowy assassin that they do something interesting with the lore, but I digress. Still, the developers have acknowledged that they will embrace the Norse mythology. It is a very cultural culture. But although, like, how head-on and blatant they will do the mythology stuff like they did with Odyssey is still a mystery, as apparently it's spoiler territory. Now, on the gameplay side, not too much, but there will be an emphasis on raids. Boat-style stuff does return, mainly for traveling through the various rivers through England and hopping out and attacking strongholds and towns. Then you hop back in your boat and you escape and presumably go back to your village hub world. Now, we also know there will be dual-wielded weapons, of course, presumably 2 axes, and more enemy types than the previous RPG-style Assassin's Creed games. Also, the end of the trailer, of course, confirms a pretty cool assassin hidden blade, although it's positioned much differently than the typical under the wrist style. This one's, I guess, I don't know what the word is, above the wrist, over the wrist. I'm curious to see if we can get some cool new kill animations for it. This is just a nice, different Assassin's Creed-y lore thing that's cool, that at least we haven't seen in the mainline games, you know? Also, this is a next-gen game. The trailer only had the Xbox logos on it because marketing, like games often do, and a bunch of people went in my mentions saying, like, it's an Xbox exclusive, please, my dudes, Google stuff before you get mad. It's slated officially for PC, PS4, Xbox One, Stadia, and boom, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, with Ubisoft touting it as their first flagship next-gen title. As you've seen in this video, there are screenshots out there, but it's hard to tell, you know, next-gen until you see it in motion. The game is surprisingly bright and colorful, though, I will say, but still, expect an actual full gameplay reveal soon. Since Xbox does have the marketing deal here, maybe we'll see it debut from their next-gen console news announcement thing first. Xbox has announced that May 7th they're revealing some Xbox Series X games and gameplay, so yeah, that might be where we might finally see this in motion. But of course, that's just speculation, guys. Take a lot of what I say with a grain of salt. Still, this is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I'm very curious to hear what you guys think in the comments, because, yeah, I think it's one that a lot of people are excited for. I know there's a lot of nerds out there that are really, really into the Viking Norse stuff, so I'm excited for them. Of course, I still want Assassin's Creed Asia, but that's a whole nother, you know, really, really long video essay that we can make eventually. Still, let's talk about this stuff down in the comments. What do you think about wielding 2 axes? What do you think about a fully customizable character more so than we've ever seen in the past? Do you like that some of the plot is going to be around, like, kind of going into and pillaging England? Like, what are your thoughts in general about this? I know it's early, but, you know, it's fun to speculate. It's fun to look forward to things, you know, sometimes. So let's talk. If you enjoyed this video, maybe we taught you a thing or two, clicking the like button does legit help us out. Thank you. And if you're new, consider subscribing, maybe hitting that notification bell, because we put out videos every single day. But, hey, as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.